So this is James Fishback. He is the Florida governor candidate. Of course, we want him to win because, well, what he's saying he's going to do sounds great. He's going to put America first and he's going to put Florida first and he's going to put Israel needs to get out of the politics and APAC is a scam and things like that. He's saying all the right things and hopefully he means this. Hopefully he can gain traction enough to actually win the governor race, and we could see Florida blossom into a beautiful state and just blossom like a butterfly. And then I will move to Miami after that. I will move to Miami. Count that. Clip that.
I mean, I just moved to Miami a few months ago, and I've heard that from multiple
Him
girls.
on Fresh and Fit.
So what? You said what? You gone?
Oh, they're leaving?
All right. Self castles.
Slut walk.
Let's
go. Slut walk. Let's go.
Everything really is bigger in Texas.
I don't think it's a brag for a guy to say he has 100 body count. I don't think it's definitely a brag for a woman, but I think that having a high body count or as a guy as a girl is just a bad thing. I think that sex is reserved for intimate relationships, is reserved for marriage. That's my view. And so I actually sympathize with you that there should be a stigma associated with a high body count, but it should not exclusively be applied to women.
Right.
And that's my view.
I applaud you for that, James.
No, but I'm just gonna speak the truth on this. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, if you're a guy and you've slept with 500 girls that makes you a G. It's just not the truth. I think a real guy is someone who finds a girl, puts a ring on it, stays committed, does what's right.
Right.
And
Come on, James.
Wait, but James, hold on.
Come on, James.
James, let me
Come on,
just get
James.
some pushback here.
Now, I don't even disagree with him. I mean, I agree with him because, we don't want to see more ran through girls, ran through whores. We don't want to see that ran through sluts, So also men, running through women, that doesn't really benefit you either. I mean, you could say it gives you experience in this degenerate marketplace, in this degenerate game, but it's degenerate. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's just degenerate. So I agree with him, but however, there is a stigma on women with high body counts for a reason. And as much as James is trying to say that that shouldn't be, well, it is. And that's nature. That's human nature. That's biology. So he could say, well, he's trying to act like it's equal, but it's just not. It's just not equal. It's just not equal. I agree that there should be no women sluts and men should get married. And, of course, that would just blossom a great society. Of course that would. No infidelity, no illegitimate children. Like, that would obviously just blossom the best society ever. However, we can't act like a man that has a 400 body count when he walks in. We can't act like all the women aren't just going to be like, oh my gosh, like a guy with 400 body count, 500 body count, that's just like Chris Brown. Like, that's just like a celebrity. That's just like a high status guy. That's just like some billionaire that just had sex with everybody. However, a woman with 500-600 body count, that's just like a whore that nobody really wants to be seen around. So we can't act like Chris Brown and a whore are like the same, right? However, both degenerate, of course, but obviously one has a skill set. There's things behind that skill set. These are more tangible things.
So you're saying find a girl, get a wife, just like that. It's not easy nowadays.
It's hard.
Most women now are not good options. So we're just saying, on the balance of probabilities here, let's go out, find some girls, see how they really are, test the waters, and then make a choice at that point.
Well, look, you can test the waters by taking them out to sushi. You can test the waters by taking them out to Milos. You can test the waters by going out to an ice skating rink. You don't have to test the
A woman's
waters.
true nature is
Whoa, we're not taking nobody out to Milo. Show me your father so we can do an arranged marriage. Milo.
shown. The sex is off the table. Like at that point, it's neutral. You can see who she really is.
What?
At the same time, same token, I get what you're saying, but like you need to go all the way.
I disagree.
Hello?
Andrew, this is Dr. G.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Just calling to check on you, see how you feeling.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Everything went great.
Awesome. Everything went really well, and so I just want to check on you, and then I'm here for you. Okay?
No problem, man. Appreciate the checkup.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We'll see you when your crown is here.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, I'm trying to make money here, Dr. G. Hey, let's get it, man.
Great. Can I tell you what my first date was? Kind of my approach in my 20s. I'm 31 now. My approach in my 20s was if I told a girl I wanted to take her on a date, I would say, we're going to the Costco food court or we're going to go to the mall food court.
Hot dogs?
Glizzies. And I did that because I didn't want to go out with a girl literally on the first date if she was unwilling to go to a mall food court. I was like, yeah, we'll go to the mall and then we'll go to the food court afterward. And probably half, if not more, of the girls said, wait, what do you mean? Like, you're taking me to XYZ. That's a really good way to size up a woman.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good way to size up a partner. It's like, look, if you're not willing to show up at the mall food court and have some...
I think that's a pretty good way to... It's a pretty good way. However, I mean, if she does pass that test, it doesn't really secure the marriage throughout the entirety of the marriage. It is a good thing to kind of snip off those gold diggers a little bit. That would work. But we can't just be like, "Oh, she passed the Costco test. Now I have a faithful wife." It's like, well, there's still management, there's still things you have to manage throughout the entirety. So, give me the arranged marriage. Show me your father.
Chinese food. I'm not looking at you for any reason, but have any Chinese food? That's a pretty disqualifying thing. And so I think modesty is a good thing for men and women. And this idea, honestly, that women want $500, $600, $700 dinners on the first date is crazy. And what men should do and women should do is say, look, first date, we're going to go to Chili's. We're going to go to the food court. We're going to go to Costco. We're going to walk around. Right? You can't be spending
poison yourselves with the Chili's 4 for $10.
That kind of money. It's not realistic. But also, I wouldn't want to be with, maybe you guys wouldn't want to be with a guy who says, we got to spend all this money to have a good time.
James, I'll give you this. It's a good vetting process. When you vet them that way, it is very good. However,
here we go.
Let's just get into the meat and bones here. You're going to tell me that I can tell a girl, right, go through that process and pick off of that alone. Not possible. There has to be multiple layers of vetting, but this is what I'll say. In the long run, guys have options because their status, their money, their looks. But in reality, the options aren't that good. So to find them out the full way, you have to go all the way. And look, I'm just saying, like, sex is on the table, but you got to go at least close to that to figure out who she really is.
But what do you mean? Who she really is? What does that mean?
Because remember, there's a battle going on between the sexes. The man wants sex.
Who she really is. What does that mean? Oh, that's not good.
The woman wants, to be
provision.
Yeah. So at that point, it's kind of like, who's gonna win that battle up front?
Why is it a battle?
It's just how it is. Like whenever people are together, there's a value exchange.
But what do you learn from having sex with a woman before marriage? Like, what do you actually learn about
that
them?
she have good pussy.
But seriously, like, what do you learn about her ability to stay committed, her ability to be a committed woman, to raise your children, to be a partner? What do you learn about that?
Put it this way: take sex off the table. What do you really have with a woman?
You have
a lot.
Commitment, love,
Okay,
support,
so let's get past that part.
Why?
And let's see who she really is. Because imagine I go to
I say something?
Mercedes, right? And I say, you know what? Give me the first car in the lot. I don't like the car. It drives shitty, high mileage.
But listen, I agree with you. Men should test drive relationships, so that doesn't mean sex.
Well, listen.
It means the ups and downs of a relationship.
I get that point, but let's just, for argument's sake, sex in itself could be considered really bad because you can get her pregnant, STDs, 100%. But my point of view is like, if you don't have sex with a girl, right, at some point before marriage, how do you know it's like going to be good?
What's going to be good?
Sex.
Why is that your basis
but why?
of marriage?
Seriously, I don't know why that's like. Well, think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what Fresh is talking about right here. Who cares if the sex is going to be good or not, bro? Sex isn't even that good. Sex is so overrated. Sex is so overrated. Like, oh, we don't have great, amazing sex, and we're not going to be able to. Bro, it's cool. Sex is just always always at least a certain amount of good. It's sex. Like, you can't be that bad at sex and you can't be that good at sex. At the end of the day, it's sex. It is what it is. Doesn't even last that long. Like, come on, bro. That shouldn't be the basis. Right. He sounds like an OF girl. Like, well, sex is important. We're getting experience, so we have to have sex with 8 million guys, so we're really experienced. So yeah, if you want great sex, get with us, marry us. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. I could literally teach a girl how to have sex in 2 days.
If you're married for 40, 50 years, what percentage of the time are you going to be having sex with a woman? Less than 1% of 1% of the time.
Yeah.
So why don't we focus on the other 99.9% of the interactions? Cooking, going out. How do you guys handle stress, consternation, fights,
I agree,
support?
but
Why are we so, as men, and I'm saying this as a guy, why are we so obsessed with literally less than 1% of the time that we're going to spend as having sex with a woman?
But I agree. I'm saying let's get out of the way now.
Why?
Can I say something?
Because, okay.
All right, let me ask
hold
this.
on. Brad and Tom didn't wait for sex.
Who's that?
The guys before me, right? They didn't wait for sex till marriage. Why am I going to wait?
Well, look, okay. If you wanted to find out if a woman was the right woman, or ladies, if you want to find out the guy was right, you have two options. You can have sex with them for 6 months, or you can travel the world with them for 6 months. Which one are you picking?
Travel world.
Wait,
Right?
so but
Travel the world. Why is he asking the women? Come on, man. That's
Who's paying, though?
low-hanging fruit
Irrelevant.
the guy's paying, right?
Irrelevant.
So the girl.
All right. Okay. You guys are going to backpack Europe. You're going to sleep in hostels. You're going to have
Still
McDonald's.
travel.
Still travel. Because
Yeah.
guess what? The travel plans are going to go wrong. You're going to have fights. She's going to be hungry. You're not going to, all that stuff. That's what I would want to see in a relationship, is not who's better in bed, but who's actually going to handle the stress, the uncertainty,
Sounds
the
good.
back and forth 6 months on the road.
Sounds great.
Yeah, but the guys is paying up front 100%, and the girls have to sit here and be like, okay, maybe sex is one thing.
Well, look, I'm not taking him to the Ritz-Carlton in Paris. We're
Yeah,
staying
facts, all
we're
right.
staying at a hostel. I mean,
$50?
can we do a twin bed? That's okay,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Girls? I mean, no,
Listen,
these girls
there's a
will do
need
that,
for
though.
vetting. 100%. I agree with you.
We agree there's a need for
Yeah,
vetting. Do we
but-
all agree that we should vet?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right? But you're of the opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, that vetting is sex.
That's part of the process.
Including
Yes.
sex.
Most.
But you're saying it's most of the process.
No. It's a part of it. It's not the main thing. But
What's the main thing?
again, compatibility. Because, for example, sex may be good in the moment. Like you said, it can fade away. But at the same time, how do I know all components if I never had it from the very beginning?
Can I say
I can assume after marriage is going to be great, but I don't know. Might be bad chemistry. She may not like sex herself. She may divorce me after that. You really don't know until after the fact. So why go into it blindly? I can go from the very jump, get the cow's milk, and buy the cow at the same time.
Can I say something?
Interesting.
So, 2 points I have to make.
Sure.
First point, you guys don't like 304s, but then you're saying that part of the most important part of vetting is to know that the sex is compatible. So if you want someone who's so sexually skilled, why are you so against 304s when that's the people that have the experience and the skill? No, you're not actually saying that. You're saying that you enjoy exploiting women's body for sexual gratification, and that you would never give a woman who would have sex with you before marriage or before commitment the actual commitment. So it's kind of
So then,
hypocritical.
why
Hold
do you
on.
fuck then?
Hold on. I'm not done. It's kind of hypocritical because you're saying that you want a virtuous woman who has a low body count, but yet you're out here putting your dick in every single woman, making everybody's body count higher.
I mean, not every single woman.
Well, first of all, they're going to do it anyway.
Everyone that you
Hold on.
can.
They're going to do it anyway, right? So that's beyond just me or, for example, someone else. They're going to smash people anyway. My point is, long-term actual relationships do need a vetting process.
Wifey.
However, when it comes to sex, yes, it could be done after marriage, but the problem is, let's be real here. Sex in itself isn't the most important thing, but it's very important when it comes to compatibility. And if that doesn't work out properly, you're fucked either way.
What does incompatible sex look like, genuinely?
Okay,
Starfish
for
sex.
example, right? You meet her. She got like what, 40 bodies? You got 2 bodies.
A little bit.
You have no other information.
Yeah.
Who do you want to sell this stuff?
The MBA, because they would have learned marketing, they would have learned sales, they would have learned demographics.
I disputed the fact that women want resources.
Okay, but
it's-
so
but
then
a
why
cer-
are you like?
I dispute the fact that men want resources from women. That's why I was talking with her, saying like, we don't care if you make $100K a month.
Okay, but then you also said
No disrespect, but men don't care about that.
No,
Actually, some of them do.
At all.
Like,
Well,
if-
a lot of women, a lot
if
of
they care about
men.
it, that's a bad person for you because they're gonna use you, for example, as a
Exploitive.
wallet.
Okay, so
pretty
a
much.
lot of men want
bro,
women
I
to
love
cook,
them.
clean, take care of the kids, have an education, have her own money, go 50-50, be independent.
Yeah, but you don't want those men.
What?
Yeah, these men tend to not be as desirable.
Yeah, you don't want those men.
Unfortunately,
I don't want to go 50-50. Why?
egalitarianism doesn't work. It's a lie. Men and women are not equal. We're better than you guys in almost every way. Like I don't.
Well,
I look
you're
at
not,
women
you're,
as
not,
equals.
you're, not, you're not better at raising children than
Men
women.
are better
No, men are
physically.
actually
Women are better
at that too.
spiritually.
They do better
Single
with
fathers.
single fathers do better than single mothers.
Yeah.
Okay, but single fathers
She's
do.
not fresh.
Oh, I guess she got triggered.
Oh, she's a model? She went the wrong way walk.
I don't know. She just I guess she got mad. I didn't do it.
you?
She said I didn't get mad. I'm just going.
Myron,
Past your
Myron,
bedtime.
but a single father is always going to be worse than a mom and a dad at home, right?
Of course, single
Yes,
parenthood is awful. But I'm saying if we compare apples to apples, a single mom versus a single dad, single dads do better every single time.
It depends on the father and why he's a single
they do.
father.
It's a
Because a
man.
lot of men are single fathers because
It's because he said that fathers do better at raising kids, and I was like, well, really, they don't.
It depends on the
Well,
father.
Men are better at that.
Well, mother, yeah,
It
woman.
really depends.
But
on
again,
the father.
we're I think the problem is we are we're throwing in the towel to the sinful world that we live in that says that 70% of black kids are going to grow up in a home alone with just one parent, right? These are things we can actually change. And so Myron does have a point that a lot of this stuff is happening, but it's not necessarily something that's a permanent feature of our society. Just
Doesn't
isn't.
have to be.
Right? I mean, look, in the 1970s, there was no Tinder. You probably dated somebody you met at church. My grandmother married my grandfather, a World War II vet, literally after the third date. That would be unheard of now. And that was probably pretty common back in the 1940s and 50s.
There was a lot of trauma though, and men also used to sell their daughters at like 12 for the fattest cow and things like that. So the past,
That was not in the 1950s.
no, but like the past is also very toxic.
Oh, well, I'm not saying that the past was perfect, but there are literally people who are selling their daughters right now in the Middle East. We're going to be honest.
I mean, like, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
just because I want to make sure because the whole discussion started with like, what men are attracted to versus what women are attracted to, and women have this false sense like we're attracted to the same things that you guys are. Because you mentioned a bunch of, when I asked you, what would that guy want? You mentioned a bunch of masculine things. I make a bunch of money. I'm educated. I'm successful, etc. You led with masculine traits that men don't really care about. That's why I gave you the equivalent. Hey, what about my designer shoes and my wallets? And you're like, that doesn't benefit me. That's exactly how we feel when women talk about their money and their career. But
this is based on me being in a relation. I had a relationship for 3 years, 10 years, and 1 year. So this is based on my experience. Like,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that men aren't attracted to that in general. Like,
that's actually not true.
I think Myron's right. I think Myron's right.
A lot of men want
the
women to go
men that
50-50.
women want, the most desirable men, don't give a fuck about how much money you make at all.
At all.
They don't.
That's not true.
I just listen. That might not be the case with your own personal history, but as a society, yeah, men generally don't care how much a woman makes.
They're
We
going to
just
use
don't.
you if they do.
Yeah. So going back to what I was saying, so we don't care about that, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to establish. The second thing I was going to establish was, though I know some of you guys don't like, you might agree, you might disagree with the concept of a man having a high body count. What I'm arguing, I'm not here to argue the morality of it. I'm here to argue that if a man has a high body count, he is doing something right and he has higher sexual market value. He's doing something right because it is a skill set to be able to sleep
By
with a lot of women.
our standard of a society,
Let me let him go.
I don't think it's universally true.
That if a man is able to have sex with a lot of women, he's doing something right.
It depends on the woman that he's having sex with.
Okay, let me rephrase this so it's easier to understand.
Well, it's a skill set. That's all he's saying. So that's like saying if you killed 8 million people, you're very skillful. Like you have to, maybe you're a samurai, you're one of the best samurai ever. Maybe you have you have an atomic bomb, you've been able to develop a nuclear weapon, you've been able to do these things. You would have to have a skill set. You can't just go out and kill 6 million people. Like there has to be a skill set there. Is it morally good? No. Of course not. This isn't a moral thing. We're just simply talking about the marketplace, the sexual marketplace. I can't go out there and have sex with 400 girls unless I have multiple things in order. That's just the truth, right? Now, that would be degenerate. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it, because you guys know me. I could have women here. I could have shorties on my line. I could have shorties hitting me up, FaceTiming me. But why would I do that when I'm getting to the money? I'm focused. I'm locked in. I'm married to the game. Why would I even want to do that? Plus, it's degenerate, right? Let's lock in, guys. Let's lock in. Myron is having a point here, but he's just not talking about morality. So
I'm saying a guy that has had sex with a lot of women is doing something right and has higher sexual market value in something.
It
He either
really
has,
Well, I agree he has higher
depends.
sexual market value, but that's
what
only,
I'm trying to say.
Right, cool, yes, if you are in demand and if you had sex with more people, you by definition have higher sexual market value.
Yes.
But I think
But that doesn't work for women, is my point.
But I think the disagreement we're having here, Myron, is that sexual market value is everything. That you can impute all this value from sexual market value and say a guy's entire personality, his traits, can be summed up by sexual market value.
Well, no, it is, because men, we have, so for women,
everything.
their predominant trait for their sexual market value is their looks.
I don't know about
As a man, you have multiple traits that get encompassed into your sexual market value, because women aren't well, they are kind of shallow, but women have far more standards that we have to check off. So as a guy, if you're able to get a lot of women,
this, guys. We know this. We've learned this. As a man, there is things that you got to have in order. That's just the truth. That's just the truth, guys. We know that.